the Tattooed Madman, Psycho Mike, welcoming you to this edition of my twisted world of Masters of Mayhem right here. Thank you very much for joining me, and you never know what you're going to find here when I'm on the air. Thank you very much for joining me. So on that note, I want you to sit back, rip the top off a cold one, roll up a fatty, and enjoy this edition of Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem.
And you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass.
Big Gang the Mighty from War, and you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass on.
Well, I'm sitting here jamming with the Kids from your Bandits. And you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass on Masters of Mayhem. Masters of Mayhem are in the house. The Masters of Mayhem. That's right. Professional wrestling at its best. Clown love. Any way you look at it, we're down with you because you're down with the clowns.
For now and forever.
This is Violent Deity Insane Clown
That's too dope, and when we're in Cleveland, that's all we watch, brother. We check out the Masters of Mayhem.
That's right.
Mayhem.
Professional wrestling at its best. Masters of Mayhem, brother. You better recognize Masters of Mayhem and Violent Deity. Stranglemania style, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Telling you, it is your main maniac, the Ghoul, and we're all gonna watch Psycho Mike beat the cheese whiz out of each and every opponent on the Masters of Mayhem Wrestling. Hey!
How you doing?
Sherry, the one and only Sister Sherry Martell. Cleveland, Ohio, the Masters of Mayhem Wrestling, the only professional wrestling that has been here in the last 5 years, where you ought to go now. Bye!
We're going to go watch Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Masters of Mayhem.
Where you ought to be.
Where you ought to be.
You're watching Masters of Mayhem.
Everybody stay tuned. You never know who you're going to see on Masters of Mayhem or what you're going to hear on MMA. Cleveland, it's the Tattooed Madman, Psycho Mike, along with Sweet Destiny from Team Law.
Yo, Cleveland, Ohio. You're watching the Masters of Mayhem with Team Law.
Then alongside Sensational Summer.
Cleveland, what's happening? It's the Tattooed Madman, Psycho Mike, along with Team Law's Cat. Stay tuned, Cleveland. Thank you.
This thing's...
What's happening, Cleveland? It's the Tattooed Madman, Psycho Mike, here along with Team Law's Bobcat.
Pussy that fight. Don't forget you'll be seeing me down here in Cleveland in Madness Mayhem.
Cleveland! It's Tater! I'm
Big hair wrestling. You can't beat it with a stick. You can't whip it with a switch. Don't even try. You're gonna break it. Yeah!
Macho Man Randy Savage, and you are watching the Masters of Mayhem in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, yeah, dig it.
hearing all the time. What? Hallelujah! Got a brand new dance! It's called a bird! Woo! The master! Let's break!
This is the Orange Sheik. You are watching Master Maho wrestling. Don't touch the
This is Typhoon the Natural Disaster, and you're watching Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Hey, this is the Tattooed Madman, Psycho Mike, with some wrestling fans.
exactly what Masters of Mayhem. We never, ever take our eyes off the Masters of Mayhem. Love you, baby. Yay!
Just what do people think of Masters of Mayhem Wrestling after just one viewing?
I like it.
And so will you. Check out Masters of Mayhem Wrestling, Music, and Chaos.
Stinky fucker. Check out Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem Underground TV.
Oh!
Son of a bitch. Are we on?
Of course we are.
It's time!
I want you to sit back, rip the top off a cold one, roll up a fatty, and enjoy this edition of Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem
Underground TV.
All highlights. So, sit back, rip the top off the board, and enjoy this week's edition of Masters of Mayhem Wrestling. Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year!
Up into the ring in just a moment or two for more exciting fucking action.
We'll have BoBo, Brazil. His opponent from Berlin, Germany, weighing 252, Schmidt.
Hi again, everyone. This is Chuck Burr. And those Bronx Banzais you heard were in honor of the introduction of Hans Schmidt, the 252-pound terror from Berlin, Germany. His opponent, BoBo, Brazil. And the third man, Joe Moscato, and brother, he's going to have himself an outing tonight. Has kindly consented to act as my bodyguard in the event. They get a little too rough, too close to me.
Like lightweights, don't they?
Yes, they sure do, Leo. And I suppose you work for a while under those hot lights, and that perspiration makes your skin just like, well, they put grease on it, huh?
That's right, like holding a greased pig.
That's just about it.
What wonderful condition both those men are in.
What do they do? Do they take special training, or do they just keep in perfect condition by continuously wrestling?
Well, they do both, Chuck, and a lot of them have hobbies that benefit them in their wrestling. Like, for instance, Hans Schmidt is an avid skin diver. And he has his own boat, and he has his own aqua lungs and a compressor to fill up the air with. And he spends a lot of time underneath the sea. And that swimming will really develop you.
What do they got going on in there now? It looks like a stalemate of some sort.
That would be called a short leg scissors.
Short leg scissors, and who's applying it? Hans is applying it, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, there's no question what that is. He's throwing those right hands, and he's landing pretty good. There's the knee to the throat. And now you're seeing Hans Schmidt at his nefarious best. BoBo rallies. Cocoa butt. And over the top strand and onto the apron goes Hans Schmidt. Well, there isn't a soul in the house, and it's a considerable house tonight that isn't extremely happy at this sudden turn of events. They don't come any rougher than Hans Schmidt, do they?
No, sir, they don't. He's out there to win every minute.
Yes, indeed. They tell me he's the lone wolf of wrestling, that he travels alone, he has nothing to do with anybody. Is that right, Leo?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Must be a lonely life, but Of course, there are compensating factors. I guess he makes a...
Well, he goes under the philosophy that you've got to win matches to get on top, and it looks like that's what he's always done, and he seems to be attempting to do now.
Yes, he is. He's aboard for the press after a series of knees to the throat, and BoBo unloads a knee that captures Hans right on the bridge of the nose. Now they're trading forearms and right-hand smashes, and there's the cocoa butt. And you got a good view of that. There it is again, and there's Hans Schmidt flat on his rompers. The count gets to 2, and Hans flips BoBo right on to Joe Moscato. I oftentimes feel sorry for those referees because they're getting a lot of prime beef landing on them. Hans Schmidt seeks a small respite to clear his head. They tell guys who have been victimized by that BoBo Brazil's headbutt, Leo, tell me that it's for all the world like they're being clubbed over the head with a hammer.
Well, I've never had the occasion to be hit with that headbutt, and I don't relish the opportunity either.
Well, I certainly can't blame you for that.
However, it does seem like Schmidt is holding up pretty good under that headbutt.
Yes, it is. I've seen guys collapse very quickly.
Of course, he's awfully strong and big.
What has BoBo got on him now? It's a double arm lock of sorts, huh?
That's what I'd call it.
And Hans is trying to roll. Now, he's likely to roll himself right onto his shoulders and be in danger, isn't he?
He is on his shoulders right now, and he's in danger.
So that's BoBo Brazil applying the pressure. Now, Hans is being shoulder stood as he tries to shoulder stand his way out of it. Now, he's in no immediate danger of being pinned, but he was while his back was to the canvas. BoBo applies the pressure, and Hans, well, you can see him, cuts loose with those rabbit. Got the arm lock. Is that a figure 4?
No, that would be I would call that a top wrist lock. There's a lot
top wrist lock, yeah.
A hold, of course, Chuck, but...
Yeah. Hans applying the pressure. I think Joe Moscato asked, well, he's counting over Hans ordering the break. What was Schmidt doing illegal? Could you see, Leo?
No, it's hard to say.
But it had to be something. There's no doubt about that.
The referee's often in a bad light because he can't see everything that happens in there.
You'll notice that fellas like Schmidt, Leo, attempt to get their opponent between them and the referee.
That's right.
There goes BoBo out between the middle and upper strand, and Schmidt is trying to kick him right into the cheap seats. There, Hans, he drop-kicked him pretty good that time. That punt would have gone about 90 yards on a football field. And Schmidt is giving BoBo Brazil, the people's choice, a pretty good working over. He's trying to part BoBo's hair right down to the elbows. Additional leverage on the top strand. But I'll tell you something, Brazil has not been knocked to the ring floor yet. Here we go. Here we go. Happy day. And the crowd loves it. Listen to them. Well, that's 5 in a row, and Hans has collapsed in the neutral corner. Now he gives it to Joe Moscato. This could be a disqualification. BoBo Brazil. Yes, and again, and this is going to be it. What's happened to BoBo? He's gone crazy.
He's gone berserk.
Yeah, he's disqualified. He's all done, Leo, don't you think?
I can't say that I blame him because he's taken a tremendous beating.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Thanks for warning us, Seymour.
I hate smoke. So whenever I see it, I make this noise to warn you. Because where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Be cool about fire safety.
Psycho Mike here, the tattooed madman. Stay tuned for more chaos. Oh yeah, I'm hated by many, loved by very few. Hey, this is the tattooed madman Psycho Mike. And if you don't want to get locked in a mental ward with me, you'll click like and hit subscribe now.
Oh yeah, I want you to stay sick, turn blue, scratch glass, climb walls, but most importantly, do what you can, don't get caught. And stay fucking crazy. No. Son of a bitch.